Friends, people often say that you should never make a decision when you are angry. In a state of anger, we do things that we don't like and later regret. We become a person we are not in our normal state of mind. Our voice gets louder, our face turns red, our heartbeat becomes faster, and our breathing becomes rapid. Some people's facial expressions even change completely. The reason for this is that when we are angry, our brain temporarily goes out of our conscious control and starts controlling our body and emotions. If we fail to recognize this and do not try to regain control, our brain can lead us to make poor decisions. We may say things we never intended to say, insult someone, or even become physically aggressive. When our brain finally regains balance and we return to our normal conscious state, we feel surprised and regretful. We ask ourselves, what have I done? Why did I make that decision? Why did I say those words? This happens to almost everyone at some point in life. In today's video, we are going to discuss how science explains anger, and more importantly, how we can scientifically control it. What can we do to keep our brain under our own control? Let's find out. The first and most effective technique is delay your response. To control anger, we must understand its chemistry. When our body receives a signal, it is sent to a part of the brain called the thalamus, which then forwards it to another part called the amygdala. The amygdala is responsible for our emotional reactions. It influences our heartbeat, emotions, and physical responses. The brain processes information in two different ways. The first response comes almost instantly. It is emotional, impulsive, and irrational. This is the response that makes us react in the heat of the moment. Scientific studies suggest that this emotional reaction lasts for approximately 12 minutes. If we can avoid reacting during these 12 minutes, another part of the brain becomes more active and begins to process the situation logically and rationally. This is why experts recommend delaying your response when you are angry. The purpose is to replace an emotional reaction with a thoughtful and logical response. The next time you feel angry, simply give yourself 12 minutes. Stay silent, drink some water, walk away from the situation if necessary. After 12 minutes, you'll notice that your emotions have settled and your mind is much clearer. The second technique is understand the seriousness of the situation. Often during an argument, we can sense when things are getting worse. Tension rises, emotions become stronger, and we know that continuing the conversation may lead to anger and conflict. When you notice this happening, consciously slow down your voice, end the discussion politely, change the topic, or simply walk away for a while. Remember, life is long. Conversations can happen later. If you know that speaking at that moment will only make things worse, it is better to postpone it. The third technique is solve the problem permanently. This is especially important for couples and married partners. Many arguments end temporarily, only to return later because the underlying issue was never truly resolved. Once emotions have calmed down, sit together in a peaceful environment and discuss the issue maturely. Try to find a permanent solution so that the same problem does not keep damaging your relationship again and again. Finally, never stop learning. Every day, learn something new. Think differently, improve yourself, and become a better version of who you are.